As an alternative to small lean-to shed for your property that will require pulling permits or self-built from wood independent structure, you can go cheaper and easier way and purchase decent quality resin shed in retail or home improvement store. In this video, I'm covering the assembly of vertical 6x4 feet Suncast storage shed from Costco and how I arranged it for my purposes of covering outdoor laundry units. Back in the day, we built small lean-to shed to cover outdoor coin-operated laundry I had in my Myrtle Beach hostel project, but I had no clue that it's considered as an addition to existing structure and required permit, so the city commanded to take it down and I complied. When I wanted to build it back up again, what didn't have to be a difficult task as I got all drawings and contractor to do the project, the city told me the draft's not gonna work for them as they require me to come up with engineering or architecture drawings. That was absolutely ridiculous request considering how much money I need to spend on those for such a little project that would come to couple of K at least in our small town. So I did forego this idea and as an alternative looked up and found out about resin sheds in retail stores. I just had to find the right size to cover my laundry units and do little planning of the area. I chose the proper size, which is 4x6 feet, just enough to go almost all the way to the side of the house and cover small coin-operated laundry units that even started to get rusty, having just tarp over for quite a while. There is obviously a lot of hoses and wiring on the back of the units. We're gonna need to work on cutting holes on the back of the shed to fit all of the connectors, so we can push the shed itself as farther back as possible. Previously, laundry units were staying on a couple of boards sitting on cinder blocks. Obviously, I wanted a good footing for this shed, so all this stuff had to be removed. We had a little path walk on the back of the house and our shed size is overlapping the sidewalk. Also, I wanted the shed to be a little elevated and be above the sidewalk to avoid potential storm water running in, touching laundry units, even the house is not in the flood zone though. So we built the form for the slab with little overlap that can comfortably sit on the existing sidewalk. The next step was pouring the slab, or what we call footing, for your shed. The size of the slab should be 69.5 inches by 44.5 inches, which will allow the shed to fit, leaving 1 inch edge on each side. You can also do wood platform, having it set on pier blocks. I like it all to be built for good, so obviously I went with concrete foundation option. This video is not about how to pour the concrete, so I'm not covering this part, but I will give you important advice. Make sure your slab is level. There is some sensitive fittings in the shed that should meet each other. If your slab is not perfectly leveled, even if it looks visually just fine though, you're gonna have problems with those fittings. You will see further down in the video what I'm talking about. When slab is done, it's time to open the box and spread shed parts around to see what goes where. I tested and walked on the base and it's very sturdy and thick, didn't bend under me. It's recommended to anchor the shed to the foundation with masonry fasteners through these holes in the corners of the bottom base. Wall panels look very similar, but they are different. Spread all of the shed panels around, spotting which one goes where. It's marked on each panel: left side, back left, back right, and right side. Start with left side panel, aligning tabs on the bottom with slots on the floor base. Lock it by sliding panel toward rear of floor base. If you don't have a partner to hold the side in locked position, lean it somewhere to make sure it doesn't fall because it might damage resin tabs on the bottom. Next goes the left back panel. Align tabs on the side of it with slots on the left side panel. Slide down to lock them. There are tabs on the bottom of the back left panel. When you push it down, the tabs will snap into the slots on the floor base. Next goes right side panel, and you're gonna go with the same technique. Align tabs on the bottom with slots on the floor. Lock by sliding panel toward the back. And the right back panel goes last. Align tabs on the side with slots on the right side panel and slide in and down. Lowering this right back panel, make sure you are meeting the tabs on the bottom with slots on the floor base. The tabs will snap into place. All of the side and back panels are in place. Make sure it's all locked. Your little construction will feel quite steady. Secure back panels together using 3 so-called easy bolts that come together with so-called easy driver. Hand tighten working from the bottom to the top, do not over tighten. You might hear a click when easy bolt has been tightened. Leave the top location without easy bolt. It will be installed in a later step. Place roof on a flat surface. Lower support bracket into channel in the middle of roof panel. The top hole should be on the right side only. Roof will not fit if bracket is installed backwards. Align holes and attach bracket using 10 small screws. Then lower S-rail into all the way slot on the roof, having wider part that looks like square hook on the top. Attach using 10 screws, driving them into the plastic. Use 7 roof brackets, lowering them into proper positions on the roof, like on the video and diagram. Use easy bolts with easy driver to hand tighten. The easy bolt head will be flush when fully seated. Do not over tighten. Next, attach door clip bracket to the bottom of roof panel using 2 screws. The vertical part of the bracket must be oriented towards the inside of the shed. Before putting the roof, to make sure I have enough light and space to maneuver, I wanted to prepare shed back panels to have holes to fit all of the laundry units, hoses and cords. I used different sizes of hole saws, and resin material was pretty easy to drill through. I just had to have a good plan with hole size and locations, and if that's something you're looking for doing as well, make sure you precisely measure everything and plan before proceeding to drilling holes. Lower roof panel and line up roof brackets with holes on walls. The truss legs and S-rail will fit into notches inside panels. Secure brackets with 7 easy bolts, do not over tighten. You might need a hand on the back of the shed to hold back panels from getting pushed back when you tighten bolt in the middle. My next step was setting laundry units inside the shed and hooking up all the hoses, ducts and plugging in units. Also, since my sidewalk width got shortened with shed footing overlap, I decided to pour additional slab on the side to extend path walk. Stand right door with hinge mounts facing right. Slide 1 metal hinge plate onto each hinge mount. Rotate plates to the right to open position. Repeat for left door, rotating to the left. You might need a helper to hold every door for you, as you need to slide every metal hinge plate into 3 slots on side panels. It will be 3 per door. Then you need to secure each door hinge with 1 big screw. And here is where the manufacturer let me down badly. 4 out of 6 hinges had defective threads, so I couldn't drive the screws through them. And whatever I was trying to do, which is just open up, drilling them wider, obviously didn't help, except one piece, but that's not the way to do it. So I had to submit the request form on website to get new parts and attach detailed pictures and proof of purchase, which all delayed the completion of my project on over 10 days. Very inconvenient. But thankfully, the customer or technical support team of Suncast was communicative. I got new parts over mail and they all were perfectly made, so it was easy to finish installation of the doors. To attach handles, start from knocking off plastic in the holes. Use provided long screws and washers, putting them from interior part of the door. Repeat the process for another door. For purposes of locking one door, which would be left one, attach D-ring slide bolt with 4 small screws on the top of interior side of the door in the appropriate location and matching holes. Do the same on the bottom of the door. don't want to lock one door, turn the ring to the side. Poke the holes in door panels below the handles where you're gonna be installing door latch. Insert 2 screws into door latch plate and place on exterior of right door, having screws going through the holes. Secure with 2 washers and 2 locking nuts from the interior side of the door. Do the same with latch plate that goes on left door. Screws through plate first, place on the door and secure screws with washers and 2 locking nuts from interior side of the door. Important! Make sure your footing, which is slab in my case, is leveled. I made solid technical mistake, and as my original path walk on the side of the house wasn't leveled, somehow we rolled with that with our final slab, which resulted in my footing not being perfectly leveled and shed as well. Caused the latch not being able to get locked as one side was lower than the other to have a rod fitting through the plate. Remember, resin is synthetic compound, kinda soft, flexible material. Understand the specific of assembly where each side of the shed is kind of secured though, but can easily sag or be slightly shifted under force, or simply if one side is sitting lower than the other. It's not a fatal mistake, so I just shimmed the shed on one side with plastic dark shims and the problem was resolved. The latch got in operation mode with no issues. But again, make sure you leveling your footing well. Those shed parts, even assembled, are easily shifting if your base floor is moving. Depending on your plans of usage, you can add 3 wood shelves into your shed. I have vast majority of space occupied by laundry units, so I'm installing just one. Use 3/4 inch thick wood. Measure yourself the length of the board you need. I had 67.5 inch when manual was recommending 66 3/4. Rapid sanding if needed, and I also paint sprayed mine. Place the shelf into shed. It must be completely seated into shelf supports on side and back panels. I used 10-inch wide board I had in my storage, and it perfectly fit within the space of shelf supports. But you can make wider shelves going all the way to the back. You just need to make side cuts like on diagram, measuring everything well before. To secure shelf, pre-drill it prior and then secure it to shelf supports with regular drywall screws. They will hold it just fine. I bought on flea market cheap little pressed wood sign laundry that I wanted to install on the front of the shed. I measured the thickness of the sign and the door to choose the right length screws. I painted the sign and then drilled the holes in it for future screws. I had pretty long screws so I could secure everything on the back with nuts. Also, I had to drill the hole through the door so the screw can go through. The nuts were tightened with adjustable wrench. And before I finish, here is one more downside of the shed. Not sure what is the exact purpose of little door clip bracket on the roof. Technically it's supposed to be a little block from door moving too much inward, but it's completely dysfunctional since it's too soft and easily bends under force that my inconsiderate Airbnb guests always apply. Also, over time, after a lot of presses, those screws just gonna get loosened and you might need to figure something out how to reinstall the bracket or replace it. And be gentle with doors. If you go hard on them, they might get dislocated. Just one hinge is enough, so you're gonna need to reinstall it. Overall, considering price, quality, and value, I'm giving this shed solid B+ rating. Here's the final product, my shed, which was converted into our laundry room. 2 units, coin operated, little shelf with detergent and softener, my beautiful painted sign. Looks nice, not that sturdy but neat from all of the angles.